Gotcha. Good Tuesday, everybody. Welcome once again to BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Bradley, good show today. The man that got it done on the chick, Andy Morgan and HFA, and we're going to get into a lot of stuff with Andy. Andy's been doing this game for a long, long time, but it's been a little while since he's hoisted the hardware above his head.
Yeah, I was looking at it this morning, 2007 at Beaver Lake, FLW Tour.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, he's won 3 AOYs, stayed in the top 10 probably like 25 times,
Yeah.
and he's won over $2.2 million
A lot of people,
earnings.
a lot of people call him the GOAT.
Yep, greatest of all time.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to Andy. And then right off the bat, Bradley, I need to apologize. All right. I really screwed something up yesterday. I'm going to admit it. I have right here the 4 contestants that we're going to talk about right here that are going to be eligible to enter in the first one-on-one live lake challenge on Grand Lake on April 25th. And I forgot to do it yesterday.
How did you forget that? Tiger?
No, Tiger. Blame it on Tiger. No, it's just the whole Winners Week thing, and I had a lot to talk about. We had the statements for some of the things that were going on with Major League Fishing that I had to get ready, and I just forgot about it, man. I don't know why. And then yesterday being tax day, I had taxes on the brain. I had a bunch of stuff that I had to get done on the afternoon. But have you ever been to the post office on tax day?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. It goes
insane.
Yeah. Yep.
What, do all these people wait until the last minute? I didn't wait until the last minute to get stuff done. It was just there were some things that I had to get done before the 15th. My taxes were done. I was just like, I'm not going to give the government any money before I have to. So I waited until the 15th, and then I was going to go through the drive-through. Dude, they were backed up all the way out in the access road here in Moore at the post office just to go through the drive-through. So hopefully everybody got their taxes done and had a pleasant tax day. So we're going to get to the one-on-one live lake challenge. It's going to take place on April 25th at Grand Lake, and I have the 4 people right here that have been selected, and we're going to announce it right now, Bradley.
Let's hear it.
We had a tremendous amount of people that filled out the form. All you had to do, folks, in case you don't know what we're talking about,
No money.
Strike King is sponsoring the one-on-one lake challenge. We're going to have 4 of them, and the first one's going to be at Grand Lake. No entry fee to register.
That's right.
All right, you don't have to pay unless you're one of these 4 people selected. All right? So if you're one of the 4 people that are selected, here's the scoop. You get 1 hour to catch whatever the threshold is, MLF style, catch, weigh, release. And if you surpass the threshold, whatever we set the threshold at that morning, you're going to win $2,500. You against the lake. That's it, bottom line. All right, the entry fee is $250 for these 4 people, but you get $100 in Strike King lures that you have to use during the one-on-one live lake challenge. So for $150, you got a shot at $2,500 mono the lake. All right, you against the lake. So you ready?
I'm ready.
And I want to know if you've ever heard of any of these guys, because you're pretty familiar with Grand Lake. All right, the first contestant, and this is not the order that they're going to go. And just another detail real quick. If the first guy that goes out, let's say we put the threshold at 12 pounds in an hour, if he catches 12 pounds in 48 minutes, well, the next 3 guys, they still have a shot, all right? Because what they have to do is catch 12 pounds in less than 48 minutes. And if they do it in less than 48 minutes, then they are the new leader. All right?
All right.
Seems simple, Bradley?
Very simple.
All right, the first contestant. I don't know what his home state is, but his name is Jason Moyer. Ever heard of Jason?
Don't know Jason.
All right. That's contestant number 1. Contestant number 2, James Rose.
Don't know James Rose.
All right. Contestant number 2.
Where are these guys from?
I don't know.
Come on.
Contestant number 3.
From Maryland.
I don't know. I did get a guy from Memphis.
Awesome.
I did get a guy from South Carolina, too. Contestant number 3, Mike White.
Don't know Mike White.
Oh, you know this guy. Contestant number 4, Andy Littlejohn.
Oh, I know Andy Littlejohn.
All right, so there you have it. And then my 2 alternates, in case one of these 4 guys, I have 2 alternates. The first alternate is Jeff Booth. I'm sure you've heard that name before. Mm-hmm. And then a guy, and I hope I am pronouncing his name correctly. I apologize if I'm not. Johan Eddy.
Johan Eddy.
Johan Eddy. Now, I don't know if that was a key entry error, that maybe it was supposed to be John, but it's Johan. Johan.
Johan.
Is what I'm thinking.
Well,
very cool name if that's how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so those are my 2 alternates. Those are the 4 contestants. Let's run through them once again. Jason Moyer, James Rose, Mike White, and Andy Littlejohn. There you have it. Your field is set. This will be webcasted, streamed live on April 25th from Grand Lake. It will be live on basshome.com. It will also be live on YouTube. So can't wait.
Yeah, congratulations.
We will see. Now, what we do is we break up Grand Lake into 4 areas. The guys have no idea what area they are going to be fishing until the day of the event. The morning of the event, they will find out where they're fishing. Now, it could be Horse Creek, could be Honey Creek, could be Duck Creek, could be, the Neosho. I mean, it could be several different areas. So there is no off limits. They can go out and they can do whatever they want because they have no idea what area they're going to participate in.
Okay.
All right. Pretty cool idea. Absolutely. You like it, Bradley?
I love the idea.
All right. Now that that's over, and once again, folks, I apologize. I'm working on guests for next week, and here's what I'm going to line up. Obviously, the Grasshopper, Matthew Pangrack, he will be returning next week in studio to bask in his hopeful glory of success on Lake Guntersville this week, and we will get into that. But I'm working on getting Marty Stone. I thought it would be cool to get Marty on, talk about the first 4 events, talk about his role, also talk a little business, because as you're probably aware, Marty, he was a CFP. I think he was a CFP, a certified financial planner. Did a lot of and want to pick his brain a little bit on the business side of this game. So I'm going to work on getting Marty on next week.
I would imagine he's still doing that gig somewhat, is he not?
I'm sure he's doing it for himself, I would think.
I would think so.
All right, and then the other guy I want to try and get on is Patrick Walters. We mentioned his name yesterday, leading the Angler of the Year race over on the Elite Series. The man's had a 7th, an 11th, a 22nd, and a 4th, and it's just lighting it up. And another angler to come out of the college ranks.
Yep.
And some of the research that I did on him, Bradley, the dude had high expectations, very high expectations for himself, and he's living up to it. And I want to know why. Through 4 events, is that right? 4 events,
yeah.
I believe. They have 5 remaining. 4 events. Why has he been so successful in being so green? Why do you think that is? Why is it? And I want to pick your brain, and then we'll take a break and we'll come back hopefully with Andy here just in a few minutes. But we listened to what Stetson had to say yesterday. Probably the least prepared that he has ever been in any tournament that he's gone to fish. Went out, things just happened right. Sometimes does that just happen? Is it luck?
The advantage that Stetson had is, well, he's got, 20 years of fishing at a very high level under his belt, first of all. But the fact that he didn't have all these other places and ideas to go check and do, he had one area. And he knew that area had fish in it, and he was going to go in there and buckle down, and he basically was going to figure out which way to make them bite at any given time of the day. So if he wasn't getting bit in it wasn't change spots and go find somewhere else to go find meet this frog. It was, let's find another bait that they possibly might eat. He was running into some sight fish and different things with fish moving up, but he obviously maximized that area to the fullest.
He did.
And
he did.
And it is much easier on a place that you don't have any memories or history.
Yeah.
And if he had fished 4 or 5 events there, and you heard him say if he'd even had more time in practice, he would have rolled out further.
Well, the other thing is with Patrick, though, I want to know what his work ethic has been building up to this season. Mm-hmm. It was obvious in some of the stories that have been written about him that he was all about doing this. This is what he wanted to do. I mentioned it on yesterday's show. One of the biggest keys to him, though, he said that if he didn't do college fishing, he probably wouldn't have finished college.
His college stats, too, are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the unique thing about the college guys, they can fish whatever they want. Mm-hmm. They can fit. There's 3 major organizations, I guess is what you'd call it, in the college fishing, and they can fish all 3, and they can fish a lot, man. A lot.
A lot of them do fish all of them.
Yeah. So I'm going to work on trying to get Patrick Walters, and then I think next week we're going to have another callers show where the guys call in. Another Sunline hotline next week to where people can call in, and we've done that one full show already, and then I did it a little bit for another show, but seems to be a popular item on BTL to have the people phone in and give us their opinions and talk about whatever they want to talk about. So very excited about having another caller show.
That's some of my favorite stuff.
Did you listen to Jim Traber yesterday?
I did.
Was he eating a little crow?
Yeah, but he eats it pretty good.
He does.
He does.
He does. And folks, we're talking about a local media person that is on the radio, has been on the radio for over 20 years here in the Oklahoma City. He made some ridiculous bet with a number of media people here in the Oklahoma City market.
A long time ago,
7 years ago, and he paid up yesterday.
Yeah.
There were people showing up where he was doing his broadcast from, and he had cash ready for him.
He said that Tiger Woods would never win another major.
Ever.
Not in a year or 2 or
ever.
10. Ever. It looked at times like he may be correct.
I know. Kind of crazy. All right, we're going to take a break. Hopefully come back with Andy Morgan live via Skype right here on a Tuesday. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
I got my power pole down, stuck in the mud in the bottom of the lake, sitting so still in the wind and the waves, could even be a hurricane. I got my power pole down.
AFCO has a new foul weather rain suit called the Hydronaut. A lot of the features that I really like about it first is the speed vent hood. If it's raining out, you know how a person gets wet is when you run down the lake and the hood comes down. With the speed vent hood, it's going to stay up. It has a camera mount in the pocket on the chest. The Hydronaut has a 2-layer, 100% waterproof nylon shell. If you're interested in a rain suit that has a lot of cool features that's going to keep you dry, you need to check out the Hydronaut from AFCO. Aaron Martins here. I'm going to be telling you about a new product by Sunline. It's Siglon PE x8. I've been using it almost extensively all year for my frogging, flipping, drop shotting, shaky heading, worming, jerk baiting. It's by far my favorite Sunline braid. I honestly, this is, I don't say this unless I think it's true, but honestly, it's the best braid in the market of any of the braids. Definitely check it out. It's a price point line, $14.95 for 165 yards, and that could last you a whole year, just one spool with using leader material. Again, it's Siglon PE x8. It's my favorite braid, and I think if you use it, it'll be your favorite braid too.
Pros depend on hydraulic jack plates to get the best out of their boats. Do what they do. Demand Atlas performance. Atlas gets you from the bottom to the top in less than 8 seconds, even with the big 4-strokes. And when you gotta turn right around and get that heavy load back up in rough water, Atlas's innovative design and American-made components will get you there with confidence.
I'm at Depot. Just look for yourself. There's an Atlas jack plate on just about every professional's boat.
The Atlas hydraulic jack plate. You can depend on it.
All right, we are back on a Tuesday coming at you, Winners Week. And our latest winner was out doing a little turkey hunting this morning.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
And he's actually riding in the truck right now with another winner, Jacob Powroznik. So it's like quad winners this week, Bradley.
Yeah, I guess Jake's the cameraman this morning.
All right, let's see if we can bring in Andy. Andy, you there, man?
I'm here, man. I'm here.
All right. Well, great job this past weekend, but I want to know how the morning went first, turkey hunting.
Well, they gobbled pretty good across the river from us this morning, of course, on the opposite side of the river where you don't have any permission to hunt. Then we had one started gobbling here just a little while ago, and we got on him and got in front of him and had him spotted out in the field, crawling to him and jumped about 3 or 4 deer, and they ran him right over the top of him, son, tumbled him, I guess, and away he went.
So, dude, I don't turkey hunt. I think it's cool. I've watched it on television a zillion times. Can you go out during the afternoon, or is it just a morning thing?
Oh, yeah, it's usually better in the morning, but if you can get one that's gobbling and pretty hot in the afternoon, he's a lot easier to kill. This morning, the same bird, once he got down, we heard him gobble a couple of times. A coyote come by. The coyote ran him off first. We came back to him about an hour and a half later and jumped some deer and ran him off again. So he don't know we're hunting him. He just knows there's a lot of stuff running around he don't like.
Wow. All right, man. Let's talk about what went down this past week and past weekend. Another trophy for the massive quantities of hardware that you have in your house. But it had been a while, Andy. How much?
Yes.
How much did this win mean to you?
Oh man, I can't put it into words how much it meant. It was one of these deals. I'm like, am I ever going to win another bass tournament? And I've been second and third and all that stuff several times. I'm like, it just may not be in the cards. You know, I've been close, but you know, sometimes or all the time, it's just like it didn't work out. But this time was a little bit different. Everything I done was the right move and didn't lose very many fish, and it's just like you couldn't stop it.
Let's talk a little bit about the final day. You were very vocal about the fact that this was an area that you were very familiar with. You had won a ton of money in there. I think the quote from you was you knew where every twig was in that area.
Yes.
How much of a home field advantage was this, and was that a big reason for you catching 80 pounds on the final day?
Absolutely. And here's where the home field advantage really lit up at 100% is when I got the conditions to keep everybody at home inside. Okay, that's when I could run everything that I knew, because I've helped make it popular in those particular little backwaters. You know, you gave the gig up years ago, but when it got bad enough and I didn't have any pressure in that area, that's when it lit up.
All right. An interesting piece that was on the Major League Fishing website about the home field advantage or home lake advantage blues. And Andy, we talked a little bit about it last night. I think it's quite the opposite. It seems like here recently, the guy that has had the most experience and a tremendous amount of knowledge, even the last 3 tournaments that I've watched, the guy that had that home lake advantage or home field advantage is the one that has won, and really the trend over the last 3 to 5 years has really changed. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, like Ott went in the Classic up there at Loudon. Those conditions were ideal for him also. I don't know, we're just in a course of time here where everything's just kind of lining up. I've had tournaments here at Chickamauga myself where I hadn't done any good at all. The lake is so good. It's so full of fish. It kind of erased the home field advantage here for quite some time. When it was tough, it was a lot easier to do good here and a lot easier to win. But with the lake just in a bloom, man, it was almost impossible to win as a local. You knew too many places to get too many bites, and they never were big enough to really to put you over the top. But with these conditions, again, it lined up really, really well. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more perfect storm, I should say.
All right, the popularity of the lake, how pounded is that area going to get where you were victorious?
It's over. It's done. I mean, literally, unless it gets super conditional again, I don't think anybody will ever win out there again. I mean, it's that popular. I mean, this lake is that popular right now. So it's just, it's a hard place to catch them in the same area 2 days in a row.
Why do you think that this lake in recent times has become one of the top lakes in the country?
The stocking program was really aggressive early on, and the aquatics, no question. When you put some fish in there, you help the lake keep healthy. You leave the aquatics alone, the water quality goes through the roof. It just creates the perfect fishery. It's on the Tennessee River. You've got good current flow most of the time, especially on these wet years. And it just keeps surviving year after year after year. These fish get bigger, they get better. And there's a lot of fish in here. There's a lot of small fish. So it's healthy from the 10-incher to the 10-pounder.
I don't know if you can still do it. We talked about when we were setting this up that you were hopefully going to be able to show some of the stuff that really led to a lot of your success during the week.
Right.
Are you still going to be able to do that?
Yeah,
are you at home?
We're here at the house now.
And you probably have the greatest camera person in the world. Is he still holding the camera?
No, I've got it now. I'm taking my binos and stuff off now, leaving everything out here in the truck.
Okay. I think this is a first, Bradley.
I got a question, Andy. What are the 2 champs having for breakfast this morning?
Man, we had a bowl of cereal this morning about 5:30. And it is wore off. We walked that off by 8 o'clock. It's gone.
I know Jacob's got to be hungry by now.
Ain't no doubt, son.
There he is in the background. Jacob, say hello to your fans, man.
Hey there, how y'all doing?
What's up? Look at
that outfit. That's great. You should wear that fishing.
Sorry, we walked in here and the dog is raising hell. Shut that door, Jim.
All kinds of madness going on at the Morgan. It is the first.
It don't stop here in the springtime.
Oh, and then I heard, what was it? You had something fall down last night that almost hit your dog?
Yeah, I had about a 160-inch mule deer fall off the wall last night. My little nephew left out the front door, shut the door, kaboom!
Oh, man.
I'm looking right now, see what I can find for you guys here. Climbing over in the boat right now.
This is pretty cool. Hey, real quick on the instant feedback. David in Wisconsin wants to know, did the HFA just help you on the final day, or was it the entire week?
Did the what help?
The home field advantage.
Oh, no, it's kind of the whole week it helped, man. After that first day, after I got everything kind of dialed back in and my timing back down, it went pretty well. So yeah, anytime that it's going on, yeah, these areas that these fish are using, yeah, the home field advantage is going to be a pretty big deal, for sure.
Hey, you want a little message from Greg Hackman this morning?
Uh-oh.
It says, you and Andy are great bass fishermen, but y'all suck as turkey hunters. I've not received one dead turkey pick, and the weather couldn't be better. The words of Hackney this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, I may not can disagree with him at this point.
How many days are you going to try and get a turkey? How many days do you have, Andy? You and Jacob?
Oh, I've got about another week.
Okay. All right. So what are you going to show us?
All right, I've got a thunder cricket, a red-eye shad, and some Z-crawls. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. How about now? That better?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yep, that'd be it right there.
All right. How important was color?
None. I used about 5 different colors and whatever I could get my hands on. That's what I used. I literally would open a pack up, throw them in the floor, and pick them up as I went. And it didn't matter what color it was. They're spawning, man. If it fell in close to them, and they were ready or aggravated, you make a good cast, it was down the pipe.
All right. Talk a little bit about the thunder cricket. What is so special about that? And it's fairly new. In fact, it is new. What can you tell the fans about that?
Man, it's just a vibrating jig. I mean, you know how successful a vibrating jig's been over the years, and it's just another one. It's got a great hook in it. It's got a little tighter wiggle. It's just a little bit different than the rest of them. They bite it.
All right. You know, we talked a little bit about it's been a while since you've won one, Andy. Why do you think that you went so long? And I know, I mean, people refer to you as the GOAT, and I know people say, and you guys talk about it all the time, on how tough it is to win. But with your experience and the success that you've had for so many years, why do you think it took so long?
I don't know, man. It's strange. And every time that I came in second, it was always somebody that blew it completely away. It was never really even close. The last time I came in second and then it was really close was, I guess, when Stetson Blaylock won in 2009 at Norman. If I could have landed just one of the 5 or 6 I lost there in a couple of days, I would have blown it completely away. Something always happened. Came in second at Beaver. Matt Airy won. I had a pretty decent little comeback the last day. I think I made it within 1.5 pounds or so. But more or less, he kind of blew that away. That happened a couple of times. I think Dudley won one year at Beaver, and I came in second. And then we went to Hartwood. Casey Ashley won by like 14 pounds, and I came in second by like 5 pounds or something like that. I remember like a PAA tournament, Shin won at Douglas, and I ended up actually throwing a fish back that cost me winning there. There's always something that went awry. So, I don't know. I always was on some pretty good stuff when I had a good finish, but it was never good enough.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about the MLF format. I think the fans, for the most part, they have to get to the point where they understand that it is a totally different game than what they are used to. What can you guys do to help the fans understand that this game is so different?
Well, I mean, look, it's a game of every bite and every fish counts. So it's totally different than it ever has been. That score tracker is very volatile. So now when you catch a 3-pounder and throw a 2-pounder back, the old mentality was you throw a 2-pounder back, you gain a pound. Now you go to catching 3 or 4 pounders, you're gaining 3 and 4 pounds at a time. So the volatility is a lot different. The score tracker moves a lot more, and it's one of these. It's a format that you have to keep an eye on, because somebody can come out a dead last. Well, look like Jacob. He didn't catch nothing in the first period the other day.
Second period either. I had 9 pounds going into the last period and ended up catching 54 something.
Yeah, and almost caught 50 pounds in the last period. Comes out of nowhere. I like the volatility of that. I think it's really interesting, and it as an angler, it's really interesting. It keeps you tuned a little better all day long, because not only now, if you just hook a 1.5 pounds, you go, oh man, it's 1.5 pounds, I wasted my cricket on that one. Well, now it's got some meaning. Every fish counts. So I think it's super enjoyable to fish. I know it's gave us a lot of extra incentive and kind of rejuvenated some of our careers.
Yeah.
To have this kind of change right now,
Yeah,
it's just a lot of fun. It's different, something we've never done, and all of us are really enjoying it.
I think everybody might have to go to the doctor and get stress tests before they compete in it anymore because, my gosh, it just seems
I don't
unreal.
know. Oh, it is, Bradley. I don't know that this last tournament, and I know Jacob because he won by like 3 pounds over at Raleigh. Dude, by the end of the day, I swear I believe your life's shorter.
I think you may be right. It looks like it watching it for sure.
all
Yeah.
right. Hey, an interesting question, and both of you guys can answer this on the instant feedback. Lane in New Jersey wants to know, with you guys being two of the greats, why do you think that some of the people are struggling in the MLF format, be it KVD, Swindle, and Skeet, but you were able to put things together and both of you get W's? Why do you think those guys are struggling?
Man, I don't really know that they're struggling. The format's tough. I said this going in. It's kind of like the guys in the days of boxing versus MMA. Sometimes you can go in there and be a great fighter. You know what I mean? And get you a lucky punch on you and down you go. It's kind of like this. And I said this going in, but Edwin's and Jeff Sprague both have kind of shut me up a little on that. I didn't think anybody would totally dominate this format. But Edwin and Jeff Sprague's done a pretty good job of dominating it so far. But I said going in that nobody would just take off and catch them every event because you got a very short practice. And I personally, I would like to have it even shorter. I'd like to have it off the cuff even more. But fishing off the cuff is going to make you a little more inconsistent. I don't think you can stay up there and catch them every single place that you go. At some point, you're going to make a mental mistake and start in the wrong area and end in the wrong area. So, to me, that's kind of the name of the game. I like it. This is as fresh and as true as the competition can get, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree 100%. It's just, I think that a lot of people, I like to swing the hammer, and I've done that my whole career. If I can catch 50 bass in a day, then that's what I want to do. I've never went out there and just fished for 5. I've always fished for numbers of bites, and I think that's why this format suits me, because I like catching bass, whether they're 1 pound or they're 10 pounds. So it doesn't matter, So I think that a lot of people are not, they're still practicing their old way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're still going out there and practicing, and I've never changed a thing. So it just rolled right into my my wheelhouse.
I think the days of taking a 12-inch swim bait and going out there and throwing it all day long and catch 5 or 6 bass, I think in this format that may be possibly over.
Yeah.
Which is fine for me because I hate throwing them anyway.
All right, I want to ask both of you guys this. Matt and I got into a discussion last week about there have been guys that have come close to surpassing the century mark for one day, just one day. I mean, you had 80 on the last day, Andy. Is that an important threshold? And I know there's no money involved in that, but is there some pride? Is there respect? Is there kind of accolades for the first guy that gets to the century mark in one round? It's something that you guys, nobody will be able to take that away from you. Is that something that you would shoot for? Or the other flip of that is there's too much money involved, there's too much strategy involved in possibly saving some of your fish. What do you guys think? Do you want to get to that century mark, or is the money too great to try and reach that mark in the early rounds?
Yeah, I know this week, me and Jacob both, and he probably even, no, you didn't at Raleigh, but because you had to jump lakes. But yeah, the last day, of course, you're going to shoot for 100 pounds because you can catch all you can catch. But other than that, I know both me and Jacob shook fish off this week once we got to enough of a lead over 21st place that we couldn't get knocked out of the top 20. I started shaking them off and looking for new water. So, no, it doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to catch that, but it'd be really cool to catch it on the damn last day.
I think it's going to. I think before this tournament trail is getting, I would say, getting really going. I think we're going to go to a place where you're going to see guys battling for catching 100 pounds on the last days. maybe some offshore tournaments. You know, I can remember Kentucky Lake days. I know I could have caught 100 and 100 casts off some of them schools out there. I mean, they might not have been big, pound and a half to 2.5 pounders,
if not 200.
Yeah, if not 200. So there's going to be tournaments coming up. I'm pretty sure in the future here that you're going to see multiple guys catching over 100 pounds a day, and maybe like even on championship day, maybe even catch 150, 160 because it can really be done.
It can. There's no question about it. I mean, I saw that going in, and it didn't feel like I caught 80 pounds on the last day here. I mean, I was just catching fish, and, you know, by the end of the day, he asked me, he said, what's your target weight for the day? I said, I think it'll take at least 75 to win. Then after it got to rolling and they got to biting a little bit, I said, no, it's going to take over 80 to win. I mean, by the end of the day, man, you caught a bunch of bass, and they all add up, and I had 80 pounds. It's just like, wow.
On the dot. 80
Yeah,
pounds on the
dot.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I'd like to get your opinion, both of you guys, on this subject. Would you like to see the rounds on different bodies of water like what you guys did in Rolla, or would you like to have it all on the same lake? Which do you prefer?
You know, it doesn't really matter. It's the same for everybody. Now, it'll get your heart in your throat a little bit when you start out every morning, when you really don't know where in the hell you're going to go or what in the hell you're going to do all day. I mean, because that ego, you know, little ego sitting on your shoulder going, man, you better catch some. You're supposed to be good. Yeah, you got to do this. You got to do that. You should catch some fish here, man. The conditions are lining up. Well, that can kind of force you into making some bad decisions on a place you don't know anything about, when sometimes the fishing is really simple. So I like the purity of that and jumping the lakes. And you can ask Jacob this. I mean, he dominated it over at the Jordan Falls and what's that?
Yeah, I don't know about dominating it, but you know,
He won.
I catch a 1.8 on the second day to get into the knockout round, and then then I made some really good decisions in the third day and the fourth day to actually win. But like Andy said, this is a time in my career I'm tired of that same dog and pony show. Of going to the same lake, same time. I want to go somewhere new, and the three lake deal that we did, I liked it. I think it just keeps. I think it shows you who has the most mentality of changing tactics. We went from Jordan, which was, kind of mostly flipping the whole time, to a lake where mostly was cranking, chatterbaiting, swim baiting type of deal. And then to another lake where it was mostly, shallow grass fishing around small grass and stuff. So I like that concept. And, I like something new. I mean, I'm like Andy said, we can stay on one lake and fish, or we can go to 3, or maybe even go to 4. I mean, if they had one on every other day, it wouldn't bother me one bit.
I can tell you this, it gets into everybody's head. You can tell when you come in at the end of the day, there's some people that are tremendous bass fishermen that are teed off, that they make bad decisions, and especially after it's all over and they see how everybody called them, it's like, oh my God, why in the world did I do that? I mean, I know I've been there. I mean, I've been one of those guys. You're like, golly bum, it's bass fishing 101, and I was out doing this. The competition and how you compete in this changes your mentality, and it kind of changes your decision making a little bit, or a lot actually.
Jacob, I have a question for you. Have you had to change up your game at all because of the format, or do you still do things the same that you did prior to MLS?
I still do the same thing. I haven't changed nothing. I still fish the same way, still look for bass the same way. This, and I don't know if this is correct, but this is just my opinion, so don't take this the wrong way. I believe if I go to Chickamauga Lake and I catch 50 bass, okay, no matter if they're 1-pounders or whatever, sometime during that day, 5 of them are going to be giants. Mm-hmm. So the more time I swing the hammer, as Andy says, the better chances I have of doing that. So why? I mean, I catch a 6 in one of the days. I'm fishing a foot deep, and my official goes, man, why are you fishing so deep? I said, well, that's where all these bucks are. I said, sooner or later we're going to run into a big one. Next one I catch is a 6'8". I watch the mud boil when she gets it. So, that's my mentality. The more times I set the hook, the better off I have of catching a big one. That was the mentality back in the FLW days, Bassmaster Elite, and I just rolled with it right over here. if I catch 60 bass, sometimes I'm going to have some big ones, and I'm going to catch a lot of bass that are scoreable now. So that's my mentality.
Catch them all, spare none.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is for both of you guys. How much of a factor is when the day is getting ready to end and you don't have to plan your day around being back to check in at a certain time? You fish all the way up until the clock. Does that change a lot that what you're doing, especially when the period is coming to a close at the end?
Yeah, it's nice, man, because you don't have anything to worry about but catching a bass. It's nice to know that clock's just winding down, and all you got to do is wind your line out of the water, and the day's over. So you can lay right there. If you get on to something or you've got something in your head you're going to do all day long, that's all you got to think about is, can I keep catching them like this, or if things are kind of rolling around and changing to make my adjustments? You have to never consider running back. It don't matter if you ran 50 miles that day. That's a free run. Just come on back when you get done, load her up, and the chips will fell where they are.
Yeah, that part's awesome.
Yeah,
it is. That's cool. And the free run time in the morning. Usually we leave at 7. Lines are in at 7:30, so that's free time.
Yeah,
I think we're fishing 7.5 hours a day.
7.5 hours.
I thought, golly, bum, we don't get that much time. But once you take into consideration, you don't have to really use any run time running to an area or running back. You're probably getting a little more fishing time.
Oh, absolutely. I just like the concept we can just pack beer in there, so as soon as you're done, lines out, the tournament's over.
Natty lights, man, they're going down smooth.
That might be the greatest response in the history of this show.
That's great.
Wow. I'm not sure, and I'm not even sure that it's possibly true.
Yeah, there's no rule. Us 80 anglers make the rules in this deal, so there's possibility for that coming.
That's awesome, man. That's wow. That's pretty cool. Now, Jacob, I haven't had a chance to talk to you since your victory, but I really would like to know, when did you really feel that you were going to get the victory in that? I mean, it was pretty tight. It was pretty tight.
About 3 minutes after it was lines out is when
really?
I got the feeling.
Make sure it's final.
No, I tell you, this is, and this goes out to all the guys that we fish with, and even friends and family and everybody. I didn't really know what was going on, and at the end of the when the guy said lines out, he said, I don't know if it's official. We'll have to wait about 3 minutes. My phone went off 272 times in 1 minute. So I could hear it dinging. So I kind of knew that I'd won, but daggone, you still don't, you don't want to get too excited, because you're like, man, that, he might've caught one the last minute that nobody saw about, or last second, but it was, that was a coolest thing that I've done in a very long time. And I think I lost about 20 years of my life in that last couple minutes.
Yeah.
That was neat, and the drama that is created when those situations arise in those tournaments, it's awesome for the fans. It really is.
It is. And like I said earlier, it's a good time for us as anglers. And I'll just tell you, every one of us were nervous going into this. It wasn't a decision easy made for any of us.
No.
So we were all nervous that we weren't going to like the format, that we didn't know how successful exactly it was going to be. Obviously, the format that they've been having has been very successful. But we were really nervous about it. But now that we've got 4 under our belt, I think everybody is more than 100% satisfied that it's going to be successful, and it is a good time, and we sure enjoy it, and we're pretty sure that a lot of people that are viewing it surely enjoy it.
All right, 2 more questions, and then I'm going to let you guys go. The first one is, can you tell the official, if you don't want to hear what's going on Score Tracker, can you tell the official, hey, I don't want a Score Tracker update, or are they required to say that to you?
No, you can tell them that I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to know nothing. I want to know just who's in 20th place, what the weight is. Mm-hmm. You can say what's in 20th place and what do I have. So you can kind of, you don't have to, they can be quiet all day. I mean, they're
going to tell you every once in a while just to make the day interesting for sure.
Especially when there's a camera on, because the people want to hear, that type of deal. But for the most part, I really like it because and I'm pretty sure you're like this. If I start off first thing in the morning, I ain't getting no bites and they're lighting them up, then I know I'm doing the wrong thing. I need to move.
Yeah.
I need to get going or get to doing something. So that score tracker can work against you, or it can help you. So that's why I listen to it a little bit. But I don't really care who's leading. I just want to know what 20th place is.
That's all that matters.
In the first two, and then the knockout round. Then you want to know what 10th is. So basically, just keep it simple, same as everything else.
All right, last question. What event are you guys looking forward to for the remainder of the season, Andy?
What do we got left? We got Smith is next.
We got Smith, Grand,
Andy's done,
and Table Rock.
I went through my favorite one already.
That's right.
Smith, Grand, Table Rock, and then we have one we don't know.
We have one we don't know right now. So
hopefully it's some smallmouth. Andy loves catching them smallmouth.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit. But probably Grand for these next three that we know about. I think Grand could be a really good one.
What about you, Jacob?
I'd say Smith Lake. I think somebody's going to break 100 pounds at Smith Lake.
All right, we shall see. Guys, you rock, man. I can't thank you enough. Jacob, thanks for showing up. I didn't know that was going to happen until last night, but appreciate you taking part in this and one of the most memorable interviews that we've had on BTL. It's been pretty cool. Hey, hopefully you guys will get some birds, but be careful and good luck to the remainder of the season for you, man.
Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Bradley, good to see you.
Congratulations, guys. Couldn't have the two better guys. Super happy for y'all.
All right, great stuff. All right, see you guys.
See ya.
All right, there you have it. Andy Morgan and Jacob Powroznik. I didn't know Jacob was going to be there until late last night when I was talking to Andy, but woo, what an interview. Jeez.
Yeah, fit right into Winners Week. Right into it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, man. Tomorrow we're going to have your breakdown of your performance.
Upshaw.
And we're going to have Andrew Upshaw, the man that went wire to wire with some of the coolest looking smallmouth that I've seen in a long time.
I was thinking about this yesterday of all the wins this week in the Winners Week. Upshaw's, to me, and I'm not just saying that because I was there in that event, was extremely impressive because he went wire to wire in a format that he did it in a lake that was so tight. It wasn't a lake that you go blow out.
Yeah.
You go show out day one, day two, and then you kind of hang on to the end. He had to stay on them for 4 days, and it was really impressive.
All right, listen, man, I was thinking about this last night, and I don't know if there's a sponsor out there because I get it. Money is tight because it's being divided up 3 different ways. Mm-hmm. But I would like to see some showcases events. And I've talked about this many, many, many years ago, but I think now would be just an awesome time to forget about all the differences, forget about all the frustration and controversy and whatever you want to call it or classify it, and finally have an Oklahoma versus Alabama, 6 guys, 3 boats, get after it for 2 days, live stream the whole thing, and see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be real good.
I mean, think about all the guys that could represent those 6 positions in Oklahoma, a ton of talent and all the talent that you have in Alabama. And the reason that I thought about this, did you see the announcement from OU that they've actually scheduled a series with Alabama, but it's for like 2032?
Yeah.
It's 12 years away or 13, whatever it is.
Yeah, we may both be not playing really good football.
No. No. So when they made that announcement and then we were actually discussing that last night, I thought, man, how cool would it be to have Oklahoma versus Alabama? Because when you think about it, over the years, the number of anglers, and I know Texas, people are going to say, oh, what about Texas?
Well,
I get it.
I was going to say there's some other states. Florida would definitely want in on that deal, and there's some states that got their fair
and just
share.
forget about all this stuff that's been taking place with the organizations, and everybody put a 6-person team with 1 alternate and just get together for a week, and who's going to dominate? Who's going to be the dominating state over a 3-4 day period?
We've done some of that with Oklahoma and Texas in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, Wade Middleton has done that, and there has been a battle of the border or whatever at Lake Amistad and Falcon.
Yeah, done some stuff in Mexico too, I believe.
They had some in
Falcon.
All right, last question I have for you It's funny you say Mexico because I'm going to get your thoughts on this. We're seeing many more what I'm referring to as international anglers. Obviously, the Johnsons from Canada.
Yep.
There's been some anglers from Italy. You have Carl from Australia. With the number of just incredible lakes that are in Mexico, how come we haven't seen somebody from Mexico kind of rise up?
Well, we definitely have them involved. I've actually had them in the boat as co-anglers in the last couple of years on tour. FLW is the one of the three that has definitely, of course, MLF's just started and stuff, but between them and Bass, FLW is the one that has really opened that door.
And Japan, obviously.
They've seen that market and gone after it, and they've tried. They do a lot of stuff with Mexico. So, they have their anglers here. I know all the coasted. They have their special exemption to come in and then to possibly make the cup and stuff. So, it's definitely a growing, but we're just starting to scratch the surface, right? I mean, it's not like we've got every angler in other countries coming here, but it's definitely starting to show.
All right, we shall see. I think there's got to be an angler that
Mexico,
that can take advantage
of
the resources that are available in Mexico.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man, great job today. I want to thank Jacob Powroznik joining in with Andy Morgan. Kind of unexpectedly, but a tremendous interview.
It worked out great.
And, man, Andy's so good.
Yeah.
Jacob is
what I really
solid as can be.
What I really
too.
noticed seeing those guys that I enjoy is you can tell how much it's a rejuvenation into their careers. I mean, it really is. It's a new format. It's something new to wake up to every day, and those guys are really excited about it, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. All right, tomorrow, same time, Andrew Upshaw. Tomorrow, right here on BTL, coming at you, 8:30 a.m., we will have, in case you missed it, we will have the names posted on the one-on-one live lake challenge portion of BassZone.com here shortly after the show. So I will be phoning these 4 people, and then we have a couple of alternates if they don't want to do it, and we will continue to hopefully strive with Winners Week this week tomorrow. Bradley, great job once again. Everybody, be safe. Try and get some fishing in today. We're out of here.